Well, ladies and gentlemen, we finally did it. Your boy is officially MMA Media.
One more round on YouTube. This is for all three of you guys. You all have split decision losses. Are you guys a fan of open scoring?
I'm not gonna say I'm a fan, because I'm a finisher. I go there to finish fights, but I guess it's part of the game.
Me gusta directamente, yo también soy un pequeño finalizador, me gusta salir a ganar la pelea y no dejar la mano de los jueces, pero es parte del juego, si toca, toca y ganará el que mejor hizo la pelea esa noche.
Creo que sería algo interesante, creo que lo he visto en otras compañías, se me hace interesante y no veo por qué no intentarlo.
Gracias.
As you can see in the video, I was nervous as shit. I didn't go in there prepared with the question. I didn't even go in there with the intention of asking a question, but I saw that there was no line, free mic. Just figured I'd shoot my shot. In retrospect, though, if I were to re-ask the questions to each and every one of the fighters, for Alexa, it would have been obviously, would she marry me? But that's obviously a dumb question, so I didn't do that. Ignacio Bahamondes, I would have asked him what it's like to train with my favorite fighter, Bilal Muhammad. And Esteban Ribovics, I would have just asked him to never fight at the Apex again. The dude's had 2 Fight of the Year contending fights, be performed in front of a crowd of like 7 people. But yeah, so let's go to the fight card itself. I was there live from the first fight all the way to the last. And just some things that I wanted to point out. First, I'm glad Tatiana Suarez got moved from the co-main event to the prelims. That fight was rough to watch. The crowd hated it. I don't know what her and Patchy Mix. I don't know if they have some sort of agreement at home of who can be the most boring fighter between the both of them. But they both need to change their style if they want to make any fans. As far as the Santiago Luna and Quang Lee fight, me and my co-host had a conversation a couple weeks back asking if the Apex, I guess if there was a difference if they fought in the Apex or in front of a crowd, as if the crowd had any sort of sway in the performance or the outcome. Let me tell you firsthand that they absolutely do. About 2.5 minutes into the round, Quang Lee was piecing up Santiago Luna, and then the crowd just started cheering for Luna. And not even 5 seconds later, he ended up dropping Quang Lee with the straight, I believe, and followed up with the finishing TKO finish. So definitely the crowd has some sort of impact on these fighters and their psyche. What else? Kelvin Gastelum. Like I said in his post-fight speech, it was definitely a bittersweet moment. He had a super strong performance. The crowd was definitely entertained, but the weight miss definitely left a sour taste in the fans' mouth. I don't know why I had a feeling he was going to retire, but kind of glad he didn't. But he definitely needs to start taking this serious. I guess it is important to note that he did take the fight on like 4 weeks' notice, but still, at least make it a catch weight. Let your opponent know you're not going to make weight. It is super unprofessional, but hopefully his next fight gets it together. What else? Rafa Garcia, Jared Gordon. It was revealed that Jared Gordon got hit by a car 2 days prior to the fight, or the day before the fight, which makes sense because the people in San Antonio, Texas drive like shit. Shout out San Antonio. Co-main event. Rob Font taking on UFC newbie David Martinez. I believe it's his second fight with the promotion. Rob Font had no business, even taking the fight. Number 9 ranked bantamweight in the world against an unranked opponent. What else? It should have been Raul Rosas Jr., which I personally think Rob Font probably would have beat. But shout out to Rob Font for at least taking the fight. The dude's never shied away from fighting anybody. Dude's notoriously known for destroying prospects. But this fight itself, I know there's controversy in the final round at the end of the fight that the ref kind of let it go on longer than it should. But I'll tell you from being there live that I think at like 12 or 13 seconds left of the fight, the crowd was going crazy, dude. You couldn't hear the clacker. You could barely even hear the clacker. And then even when the bell rang, dude, there's no way anybody could hear, dude. The crowd was so loud. So cut the ref some slack, and hopefully Rob Font's all right. David Martinez ranked number 9 in the world in a stacked bantamweight division. I don't know. I don't really have the rankings up right now, so I don't know who would be a good fight for him. I would probably say, if I could give him Patchy Mix. I know Patchy Mix got a fight coming up, but give him Patchy Mix, you know? Let Patchy Mix be somebody else's punching bag. What else? Main event. All right. I've been to my fair share of UFC events. I'd say close to like 10, give or take. I've been in Vegas, been in Florida, been in Los Angeles, San Diego. So I've been a few places. Let me tell you, I've seen many fighters: John Jones, Paddy Pimblett, Masvidal, just you name them. Name them, I've probably seen them. The top 3 pops that I've heard a crowd go crazy for in my entire UFC spectating career: Donald Trump, probably number 1. Nate Diaz and Diego Lopes have to be 2 and 3. Because, dude, the guy was barely even coming out, and the whole crowd was going crazy as if there was some sort of KO. I would say that the crowd was definitely 90% pro Lopes. And even me, you know, it was a tough fight for me. I like both the fighters. I like Lopes. I like Gene Silva. But the crowd was going crazy for this dude, and I honestly think that Lopes has the potential to be a big star if he gets the title. I mean, he's already a big star, but give him a title, he definitely has all the makings, dude. The dude's fun. I've never seen him in a boring fight. He always goes out there to try to win. Yeah. Just thought, what can I say? The fight itself was crazy. I thought Lopes was getting caught, and I thought his chin was finally going to give out one of these times, but he pushed through. At the end of the fight, I don't know if it translated on the broadcast. I don't know what you guys saw, but he was definitely getting into it with Gene Silva's corner, flipping them off. I don't know if they were talking shit. I don't know what the whole beef was between them. But I would say for Diego Lopes, I know he just came off a loss to Volkanovski, which probably doesn't make sense, even though he had a good performance to run it back. I would say give him Lerone Murphy. It would make sense. Give Lerone Murphy to Volkanovski. Lerone Murphy deserves it. Again, fought a UFC newcomer. Everyone expected him to get knocked out. He deserves that one. It's fresh, new matchup for him. And I think give Diego Lopes full camp against Mozart, because I know Diego Lopes made his UFC debut against him on short week's notice and hung in there. So I think a full camp between the both of them would make sense for the fight. Winner of that gets the winner of Volkanovski versus Lerone Murphy. Aljamain, I don't know what you do with Aljamain, dude. Just this Aljamain. Let Aljamain just chill. Oh, what else? Oh yeah, so this brings me back to a pressing topic. The UFC needs to abolish the Apex ASAP. Like I mentioned with the Rebovics fights, he's had 2 fight of the year contending fights that were performed in front of nobody. Like, you put that fight in any crowd, you would have made Rebovics a bigger star than he probably already is. Even now, the people at the press conference were asking him, hey, when are you going to not fight in the Apex? People are, fiending to see this dude fight. Oh, where was see? Yeah, just in closing, really, if the UFC ever comes to your city, I know the prices are pretty ridiculous. UFC fight nights generally tend to be maybe half the price of what a pay-per-view is. So if you go to a fight night, you definitely get your money's worth. If they ever come to your city or anywhere nearby, I 10 out of 10 recommend you go. It's one of the coolest experiences ever. I mean, hopefully you'd at least one of the 1 or 2, 3 fights on the card I've got to be bangers. So the chances of you getting a shitty card throughout the whole thing, maybe the main event might fail sometimes here and there, but just to be in the event is pretty sick. Especially when you get like I don't know, if you're in a predominantly Mexican city and you get a Mexican fighting in the main event, you feel that energy, or just any sort of fighter which resonates with the home crowd. it's pretty sick. So I definitely want to check out some UFC London, UFC Paris fight card. But if you're ever in the area, 10 out of 10 you should recommend. And then just quickly touching up on the boxing. I think we got to give John Anik his flowers on commentating. The dude just jumped into boxing. I've never seen or heard of him commentating boxing before. And he just went in there seamlessly, fit right in with Max Kellerman. And who was the other guy? Was it Andre Ward? I don't know who the other... It might have been Andre Ward, but... Yeah, speaking of Max Kellerman, I don't know what the dude's up to. He's been on some sort of Dana White glaze for the last week and a half. I don't know if he's rusty as far as commentating goes, but even in his in-ring interviews with the fighters, he seemed hesitant. He seemed just, I don't know, just gave awkward vibes. As far as both fighters, I think you got to give him a rematch. It's going to be a big fight, especially now that Canelo lost. You know, if he comes back, wins it, then you do a trilogy, which I don't think anybody would be mad at. The fight itself was entertaining. And I think as far as Netflix goes, they've definitely established themselves as a fight broadcasting network. So that's cool. I'm excited to see what other fights they bring out. I know they're going to have the Jake Paul and Tank Davis fight on there, which I don't even know if you call that a fight. Dana White definitely looked unimpressed. I don't know if you guys have been seeing the memes going around, but he looked unimpressed in the co-main event. From the co-main event on, just kind of sitting there. Boxing ain't... I don't know. For me, boxing, I've never really been to a boxing fight. I don't think I've ever been to a boxing fight, actually. So I can't say that the energy is the same as MMA. But just MMA itself and being there live is just a different experience. And y'all definitely got to check it out. So yeah, in closing, remember, Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, we do some sort of UFC game show. You all are more than welcome to play live. All you got to do is scan the QR code and you'll be in the game. You won't just be watching. So tune in then. Anybody that had the privilege of meeting on Saturday at the fights, I gave stickers to. We met, chatted for a bit. It was a pleasure seeing you guys out there. And yeah, let's get this channel growing. We're at, I believe it's 86 subscribers now. Close to 100. Let's keep pushing. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.